Jake always felt a spark of restlessness within him, an unquenchable thirst for something beyond the horizon of his daily life. At 32 years old, he found himself trapped in a relentless cycle of work and obligations in San Francisco. Although he was a successful software developer, his passion had dulled to a mere flicker. The tech industry, full of bright ideas and rapid innovations, had once inspired him. Now, the pressure to keep up left him feeling drained. As the quiet hum of his life persisted, he began to sense that the vibrant colors of his youthful dreams were fading into a monotonous gray. The more he pondered his situation, the more he realized that his heart longed for a significant change. He envisioned a life filled with adventure, beauty, and perhaps a bit of romance. During a late-night online search, he stumbled upon stories of expats in the Philippines, each narrative rich with tales of sun-kissed beaches, warm-hearted locals, and the freedom of remote work. It was as if he had stumbled upon a treasure map leading to a life he desired. The idea of living in a tropical paradise, where he could trade hurried moments for sunlit days, became increasingly irresistible. Jake's motivation was both personal and deeply rooted in a quest for fulfillment. He yearned for a fresh start, a chance to escape the confines of his office, to find his place in a world bursting with culture and opportunity. He envisioned waking up to the sound of waves crashing against the shore instead of the cold alarm of his smartphone. The thought of sipping freshly squeezed mango juice while brainstorming his next project filled him with newfound energy. However, dreams can be deceitful. When he began planning his move, he discovered the complexities involved. He had to break free from the safety of a stable job, face the bureaucracy of visas, and learn to navigate an entirely new culture. As he meticulously laid out his plans, a mix of excitement and anxiety buzzed within him. Would he truly find the life he dreamed of? Was it possible to recreate the kind of happiness he envisioned so vividly? He began to prepare for this new chapter with an intensity that surprised even him. He researched the Philippines' diverse regions, learned about its rich history, and even picked up a few phrases in Tagalog. Every sunset photograph he stumbled across sent a wave of longing through him, reinforcing his commitment to this ambitious leap. But with the romanticism of his dreams came nagging doubts. Would he truly fit into a culture so different from his own? What if the idyllic lifestyle turned out to be a facade? As these questions danced in his mind, the excitement sometimes felt overshadowed by fear. Nevertheless, Jake packed his possessions, moments of nostalgia mixed with anticipation filling his heart. Leaving behind family, friends, and memories was hard, yet he believed that stepping into the unknown was a necessary sacrifice for discovery and growth. That final night in San Francisco, as he looked at the city skyline glittering against the night sky, he felt a swell of sadness and exhilaration. He was on the brink of a significant transformation. New life awaited him, but what would it cost? Little did Jake know that the initial thrill of living in the Philippines would quickly clash with the stark realities of cultural adaptation and the challenges of starting anew. In his heart, however, remained a flicker of hope. Perhaps this journey would unfurl layers of his identity he had yet to discover. And through those trials, he might just find a deeper connection to himself and the world around him. Surely every great saga of transformation begins with uncertainty. The idea of leaving comfort and stepping boldly into a woven tapestry of new experiences is a universal longing. How many of us have stared out the window, wondering about the lives that unfold beyond our own? Jake's story resonates because it reflects a common desire, the pursuit of happiness, the thirst for adventure, and the ultimate question of what it means to truly belong. While he stood at the edge of his decision, gazing into the unknown, he couldn't help but contemplate. Could this leap of faith lead to the fulfillment he so desperately sought? Jake's journey was just beginning, and though he was knowledgeable about computers and algorithms, stepping into a vibrant culture would require a different kind of learning. His heart raced with the thought, a mix of excitement and trepidation, wondering what awaited him beyond the gentle waves of the Philippine shores. Would he find romance, adventure, and most importantly, a sense of home? Only time would tell, and he was ready to embrace whatever came his way. Jake's arrival in the Philippines flooded him with a mix of exhilaration and trepidation. Stepping off the plane, he was immediately engulfed by the warmth and humidity, the air thick with the scent of earth and tropical blooms. Manila's bustling streets contrasted sharply with the serene images he had conjured during his months of planning, brimming with life and chaos in a way that both thrilled and overwhelmed him. The vibrant colors of the jeepneys, the sound of vendors calling out to passersby, and the rich tapestry of voices speaking a blend of Tagalog and English created a cacophony that felt foreign yet strangely welcoming. However, the honeymoon phase soon wore off as Jake began to grapple with the stark realities of his new life. The language barrier hit like a wave, crashing over his expectations. Although he had picked up a few greetings, he quickly found that understanding rapid conversations laden with local slang was a significant challenge. While English was widely spoken, especially in urban areas, the nuances often eluded him. He stumbled through basic interactions, feeling like a child trying to navigate a world that easily slipped through his fingers. Financial challenges also reared their heads almost immediately. Jake had anticipated that his savings would stretch comfortably in the Philippines, but he quickly learned that the cost of living varied widely. His budget was tighter than he had projected, and finding a place to live within his means proved to be more complicated than expected. Each tiny apartment he viewed lacked not only basic amenities, but also the comfort of familiarity he craved. He often found himself questioning whether he had made the right decision. The bright dreams of tropical living were now clouded by the weight of financial uncertainty and disconnection. Moreover, amid the vibrant culture, Jake struggled with an overwhelming sense of loneliness. The friends he had hoped to meet seemed elusive, as he found it challenging to weave himself into the fabric of this new society. Even with the beautiful backdrop of beaches, sunsets, and lush landscapes, an ache for the companionship of family and friends back in California loomed large. He spent countless evenings alone in his apartment, scrolling through social media to see their happy lives unfolding, while his own felt stagnant and isolated. In moments of quiet despair, Jake often reflected, was the sacrifice worth it? He questioned whether he could become part of this vibrant tapestry, or whether he would remain an outsider, a stranger in a land rich with culture yet deeply foreign to him. As he sought solace in his thoughts, he realized the urgent need to shift his approach. He needed to either adapt or risk fading into an existence of loneliness, far from the dreams that had propelled him here. During one particularly challenging week, as he wandered through a local market, he met Maria, a colorful, passionate photographer who radiated contagious enthusiasm. With her long dark hair tumbling over her shoulders and her vibrant smile lighting up her face, Maria instantly captivated him. She was fluent in both Tagalog and English, and her warmth drew him out of his shell. When she offered to show him around the area, Jake seized the opportunity, feeling a spark of hope igniting within him. As they explored the lively streets together, Maria shared the stories of her culture, explaining the significance of various traditions and customs. For the first time since his arrival, Jake began to feel a connection, a bridge from his solitary world to that of the locals. Their conversations flowed effortlessly, and Jake quickly discovered that she too had once faced the challenges of finding her footing in a chaotic world. Through their friendship, Jake realized the power of community. Maria introduced him to a group of expatriates who gathered regularly, exchanging stories of their own struggles and triumphs. Together, they created a tapestry of support that would unravel the loneliness he had felt, allowing him to share his experiences and hear the tales of others who had crossed oceans seeking a new life. Emboldened by this newfound connection, Jake started exploring creative avenues to establish a stable income. Inspired by Maria's captivating photography, he leveraged his background in technology to design websites and offer freelance services. As he engaged with local businesses seeking to enhance their online presence, he discovered an untapped market that valued his skills. These interactions not only provided him with financial relief, but began to weave him further into the fabric of Filipino society. In those moments of collaboration, as laughter echoed and ideas flowed, Jake learned more about himself than he had anticipated. He began to understand the importance of flexibility and adaptability. The challenges he faced had become the very lessons he needed to grow. He cultivated resilience by embracing the unexpected, allowing the vibrancy of his surroundings to inspire his creative endeavors. Each day, Jake embraced small victories, the warm smiles of new friends, the satisfaction of completing a project, and the joy of discovering local delicacies. With each interaction, he began to feel less like a mere visitor and more like a participant in a beautiful, complex narrative. The initial fear began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of belonging that reverberated through his heart. Jake now knew that the journey was not merely about finding a new home. It was about forging connections, challenging his understanding, and redefining happiness. In facing his fears and seeking out community, he unearthed layers of himself he never knew existed. His adventure was far from over, but with each passing day, he moved closer to the life he had longed for, where the scent of local cuisine mingled with laughter and friendship, flooding his days with joy. As he stood at the threshold of this journey, Dipping his toes into the azure waters of the Philippine shores, Jake began to realize that his leap of faith had landed him in a world rich with promise, connection, and the opportunity for true belonging. As the months passed, a subtle transformation began to take root in Jake's life. The struggles that initially seemed insurmountable gradually faded into the background, replaced by a sense of adventure that painted his days in vibrant colors. He found himself increasingly immersed in the Philippine culture, eager to explore not only the breathtaking landscapes, but also the heart and soul of the people surrounding him. With Maria's mentorship and support, Jake's world expanded beyond the confines of his apartment. Each weekend held the promise of discovery, from wandering through local festivals filled with music and dance to exploring the lush mountains that beckoned with whispers of adventure. The festivals, alive with rhythm and color, filled him with an electric thrill each beat of the drum resonating with his own heartbeat. Each dancer's leap a reminder of the joy to be found in life's simple pleasures. Through Maria, Jake was introduced to the traditional Filipino fiesta, a vibrant celebration that lasted for days, bringing communities together in a stunning display of culture and camaraderie. What struck him most was how these gatherings fostered connection and joy among individuals, regardless of their backgrounds. It was in the sweat-drenched laughter, the shared plates of lumpia and adobo, and the children gleefully chasing one another that Jake understood the essence of Filipino hospitality, a warmth, an inclusion that enveloped him like a comforting embrace. However, the journey was not without its challenges. Amid the beauty, Jake still faced moments of doubt. He struggled with feelings of inadequacy when he realized that adapting to this new culture was an ongoing process. He often wondered if he would ever truly belong. Every hiccup, a miscommunication with a local vendor, or the realization that he still had difficulty understanding local traditions gnawed at his confidence. But as Jake navigated these challenges, he found comfort in the community he had built around him. As his friends shared their own stories of adversity and triumph, he began to see the shared humanity in their experiences. This realization became a grounding force, reminding him that the journey of adaptation was not a solo endeavor. One evening, as he and Maria sat on the beach, sipping coconut water while watching the sun dip below the horizon, she turned to him with an expression of curiosity. "What's the most surprising thing you've learned since moving here?" The question lingered like a melodic note. Jake paused for a moment, contemplating not just the landscapes he had explored, but the internal landscape he had traversed. "I think," he began slowly, "it's the power of community. Back home, I was so focused on my career that I neglected the importance of connections. Here, I've learned that building relationships is what enriches life. It's not just about achieving goals, it's about the bonds we form along the way." Maria smiled, her eyes sparkling with understanding. "Yes, life here is not just a series of tasks. It's about experiencing things together. It's about sharing moments, joy, and even sorrow." Their conversation deepened, and beneath the canopy of stars twinkling overhead, Jake realized that this simple evening by the beach was a testament to the journey he was on. Not only had he moved to another country, but he had also embarked on a journey of self-discovery and transformation. As the weeks turned into months, Jake continued to immerse himself in the local culture. He took traditional cooking classes, learning to whip up fragrant dishes that soon became a staple on his dinner table. Each lesson was an adventure, filled with laughter and unexpected mishaps that reminded him of the importance of embracing imperfection. He found beauty in the chaos of mixing ingredients, the satisfying sound of sizzling pans, and the aroma that filled his small kitchen. Jake also volunteered at a local community center, teaching basic computer skills to eager students. As he shared his knowledge, he discovered a profound sense of purpose that filled the void he once felt. The smiles of gratitude and the moments of triumph in his students became an essential part of his new life, fostering connections that transcend borders and cultures. Each interaction seemed to propel him further along this path of discovery, revealing layers of himself he had yet to acknowledge. He learned the significance of family ties in Filipino culture and the value of honoring one's roots. Conversations with locals painted a portrait of resilience and hope, reminding him that, like the waves that ebb and flow, life was about rhythm, balance, and the interconnectedness of experiences. Yet, lurking beneath the vibrant surface were moments of reflection. Jake often found himself contemplating his past life, the friendships he had left behind, and the life he had built in California. Did he still long for that existence? Or had the allure of adventure and discovery reshaped his aspirations? Time and again, he returned to the question of belonging. Did his heart now reside in two places? Could it be possible to hold space for both his past and present? He journaled frequently, his thoughts sprawling across pages, weaving the narrative of who he was becoming. One day, while walking through a bustling marketplace, the vibrant colors and lively banter stirred something deep within him. Surrounded by the buzz of people and the intoxicating aromas of street food, Jake's heart swelled with appreciation. This cacophony, once overwhelming, now felt familiar and inviting. He paused, inhaling deeply, recognizing that he had begun to carve a niche in this vibrant tapestry of culture. With each day, he moved closer to the realization that belonging was not about erasing his past, but rather integrating it into his present. As the sun set on another fulfilling day, Jake stood by the shoreline, where waves gently licked the sand, each ebb drawing him closer to this new reality. He was no longer just an outsider trying to fit in. He had become part of a community that embraced him, challenges and all. The island's spirit resonated within him, echoing the rhythms of adaptation and resilience. In this embrace of new experiences, adventures, and friendships, Jake was reshaping his identity. He was weaving a narrative rich with color and depth, a medley of dreams once longed for and the life he was actively building. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow on his skin, filling him with renewed hope, a silent promise that this journey he had embarked upon would continue to unfold in unexpected, beautiful ways. As the rainy season approached, the sky began to transform drastically, turning from brilliant blue to a soft gray, burdened by clouds heavy with promise. For Jake, this change brought both a physical and metaphorical shift in his journey. The rains, which once felt dreary, began to be a reminder of the renewal that followed. They urged him to reflect on the growth that had taken place since he first stepped foot in the Philippines. With each downpour that chased away the oppressive humidity, Jake felt a flicker of excitement for the fresh beginnings that came with the rain-soaked earth. One afternoon, as raindrops drummed a rhythmic beat against his window, he sat down to write his thoughts. Inspired by Maria, who often captured the beauty of life through her lens, he began channeling his experiences into words. He penned stories about the colorful fiestas, the kinship he felt while learning the art of Filipino cooking, and the lessons gained from his students at the community center. Writing became a newfound passion, a way for him to process the whirlwind of emotions associated with his new life. Each word unfurled, shedding light on the beauty of adaptation, community, and the richness of cultural exchange. Despite his growing sense of belonging, Jake still faced moments of isolation, especially during the quiet hours, when the rhythmic pulse of life outside his window contrasted with his stillness inside. He missed the easy camaraderie of his old friends back in California, where shared laughter and late-night conversations flowed effortlessly. In these solitary moments, he reflected on the importance of nurturing those connections, even across oceans. Faced with this yearning, he made a promise to himself, to reach out and maintain the relationships that had shaped his life. One evening, motivated by this resolve, Jake set up a video call with his best friend, Kevin. As the screen flickered to life and Kevin's familiar face appeared, Jake felt a wave of comfort wash over him. They exchanged stories, laughter bubbling up as they reminisced about shared memories that felt like a lifetime ago. Kevin's enthusiasm reminded him of the person he once was, anchoring him in nostalgia while propelling him forward. "You sound happy, man," Kevin said, his eyes bright with genuine interest. "This adventure seems to be doing wonders for you." Jake smiled, feeling the warmth of the moments through him. "It's a wild ride, for sure. There are ups and downs, but I'm learning so much about myself. Every day feels like a new chapter, and I'm grateful for it. You should document all of this, you know? You have a way with words." Kevin encouraged, prompting Jake to consider sharing his experiences beyond the confines of his journal. With Kevin's encouragement echoing in his mind, Jake found himself contemplating a blog. As he delved deeper into the world of writing, he visualized pouring his heartfelt experiences into shared digital spaces, connecting with others who might feel as he once did, lost, longing, and searching for their place in the world. He imagined crafting a narrative not just of his personal growth, but also of the vibrant tapestry of life he had come to cherish. Excited by this new idea, he spent the next few weeks creating his blog, naming it Waves of Change. As he designed the layout and chose photos from his adventures, every detail felt like a piece of himself coming together. The first post, titled Embracing the Unknown, encapsulated his initial fears and joys, the leap he took into uncharted waters, capturing the essence of his journey. He poured his heart into it, weaving together emotion and vivid images that would resonate with his readers. When he finally hit publish, a flutter of anxiety coursed through him. What would people think? Would anyone care about his story? With a deep breath, he took the leap, sharing his experience with friends and family. Almost immediately, comments began to pour in, filled with encouragement and enthusiasm. Friends he hadn't heard from in months reached out to tell him how inspired they were by his journey. The sense of support washed over him, adjoining the physical connections he had missed with this newfound digital community. But as the rain continued to fall, Jake also grappled with deeper questions about purpose. What impact did he wish to leave on the world? He understood that his journey was not solely about personal growth. It was a thread woven into the vast tapestry of life, where every individual story contributed to a larger narrative. With every blog post and every comment shared, his writing became a platform to inspire others, possibly encouraging them to take their leaps of faith. One evening, while sitting on the balcony with Maria, the topic of his blog emerged. She expressed her admiration, encouraging him to incorporate photography into his entries. "Your stories deserve the visuals to match they're so rich with emotion," she said as she scrolled through her portfolio of vibrant images. That night, amid laughter and the soft glimmer of the sunset, Jake proposed a collaboration. They would work together to combine photography and storytelling, showcasing the waves of change experienced from both perspectives. Uniting their passions brought forth a fresh wave of creativity. Side by side, they ventured out, capturing candid shots of bustling markets, serene sunsets, and the genuine smiles of locals. This partnership deepened their friendship and created a shared purpose. With Maria's keen eye for detail and Jake's narrative flair, they crafted posts that resonated with the beauty of the Philippines and the authenticity of their experiences. As the rainy season receded and the days grew longer, Jake's blog gained traction, and he began to connect with a broader audience. Comments from readers expressed gratitude for his honest reflections, for shining a light on both the challenges and rewards of expatriate life. He received messages from fellow travelers grappling with their own uncertainties, those seeking inspiration to carve their paths, much like he had done. Thus, Jake's journey became not merely about physical relocation, but a manifestation of growth through community, creativity, and connection. Each entry he published served as both an expression of his thoughts and a beacon of hope for those navigating their doubts and dreams. He felt empowered to forge his identity, embracing all facets of his life wherever the tides might bring him next. Standing on the balcony one evening, with the sun kissing the horizon goodbye, Jake reflected on the vibrant life he had crafted. He had come to understand that each storm, each downpour of uncertainty, only enriched the blooms of perseverance, creativity, and community in his life. With his heart wide open to the blessings of familiarity through friendship and the rush of new experiences, he stood ready for whatever the future held, filled with a sense of peace that came from both courage and connection.